Atika binti Darwis, matrix number 15 DUB 19F1039. Today I will explain about the definition of tender document and table tender document. Definition of tender document is document that contain all the information required by the contractor to assess the proposed project and subsequently makes an offer. This tender is a submission made by a prospective supplier in response to an invitation to tender. It makes an offer for the supply of goods or services. Tender documents are prepared to seek tender offer. Generally, tendering is referred to the supplier required to complete construction work rather than the process of selecting consultancy services, which is commonly referred to as appointment. Tender document may be prepared for a range of contracts. For example, equipment supply, the main construction contract, including design by the contractor, demolition, enabling work, and so on. The function of this document is tenderer know about the project clearly and give to them to fill in the rate. Tender document must be provided for project worth more than 50,000 ringgit Malaysia, and table tender document are also provided. Tender document divided into two types, which is tender document based on bill of quantity (BQ) or tender document based on drawing and specification or lump sum. Tender document based on BQ is commonly used for large projects. Preparation of this document takes a long time, which involves quantifying each element in the building. This document should provide more equitable basis for evaluating the work performed for the purpose of progress, payment, and variation order to the contractor's work. Tender document to be provided to the contractor is subject to the type of contract offer. If this contract is based on BQ, the document that is given to the tenderer is BQ, form of tender, specification, and drawings. Tender document based on drawing and specification or lump sum is commonly used for projects that need to be completed immediately where the QS is unable to provide a BQ. This document is ideal for low and medium cost projects. The tenderer should only enterprises for the entire work by the lump sum. If this contract is based on lump sum, the offer document that will be provided to the tenderer is schedule of rate, form of tender, drawing, and work schedule. Definition of table tender document is set of documents that provided by the QS used for the reference of the tenderer who entered the tender. This document is not to sold and it is used as a reference for tenderer before the bidder makes the decision to enter the tender. Usually, before the tender is invited, the government agency that manages the procurement will provide the table tender document. This document contains project-related items on offer, including contract terms, tender form, drawing, and specification. Table tender document is the basis for the preparation of contract documents later. When preparing the contract document, the contractor is responsible to ensure that all the documents received at the time of return of the document are the same as the table tender document, especially in the drawings and other documents. The difference between tender document and table tender document is: first, tender document is set of documents that sold to contractors, while the table tender documents are displayed on a desk in a special room at the appointed time. Next, tender document is to be the contractor's owner, while table tender document as a reference to tenderer to get the information and checking document before enter and submit the document tender. Besides that, tender document was prepared to tenderer to fill in the price of tender, while table tender document serves as the basis for the contractor to review the offer. Tender document is sold to interested the tenderers and have unlimited number of documents, while tender table document is not to sold to the tenderer and have a limited number of documents.
Hi and Assalamualaikum everyone. We are so glad to see you all here today. My name is Nurain binti Muhammad Bakri. In this presentation, we are going to discuss 10 main steps of the preparing the tender document. This document is prepared by a cost consultancy organization. Okay, let me start with some content of tender document. The nature and number of tender document depend on the contract types such as remeasurement contract, lump sum contract, and cost reimbursable contract. Okay, now this is 10 content of tender document. Instruction to bidders or tenderer, bidding data, condition of contract, form of tender or bids, standard forms, specification, set of tender drawing, bill of quantity, and the last one, schedule of price. The first content, instruction to bidders or tenderer. All the bidders will give the necessary instruction present in this section. Thus, it is important to read all the instructions prior to starting the pricing carefully. Number 2, bidding data. This section includes all amendments to the instruction to bidders. The employers shall fill the necessary information and add under this section before issuing the tender document. Content number 3, condition of contract. It is important to comply with the bid with the condition of contract, since in the end the bid is going to be governed by this condition of contract. This document set out the obligation and right of the parties and the detailed condition under which a subsequent contract will operate. If a standard form of contract such as the FIDIC rate book is used, it will not be sent out with the tender document. It is assumed that the tenderers will have a copy or an readily obtained one. Number 4, contract data. This section includes all amendments to the condition of contract. The following condition will be included normally: employers, engineer, and contractor names and address, time for completion of the works, no off days. 3. Defect notification periods normally 365 days. Right to access to the site. Engineer duties and authorities. Liquid damage for the works. The maximum amount of liquidated damage. Method of measurement. Percentage of adjustment for provisional sum. Total advance payment. Percentage of retention. Limit of retention money. The minimum amount of interim payment certificate. The last one, the amount of third-party insurance. Content number 5, form of tender. of bids. This is a pre-printed formal statement. A tenderer has to fill in the blank space, his name, address, the contract price which he going to offer. Finally, the authorized person will sign the document. Then it provides legal validity for the submit bid. Content number 6. Standard form specimen. First, draft form of agreement. Second, performance security specimen. Third, advance payment specimen. And the last one, retention money guarantee specimen. Content number 7, 8, and 9. Specification, drawing, and BQ. All this to be read together to get the full view on the project. In the case of lump sum contract without quantities, a detailed specification instead of a bill of quantity will be supplied to the tenderers. A specification may be in a form for detailed pricing. Normally, general agreement drawings will be provided. Location of the site, the position of the building on and floor plan, some cross-section and elevation. Bidders are usually not given working drawings. Anyhow, they are informed that they can check the drawings that will not provide to them at the consultant office. And the last content are schedule of price as an alternative to a specification in the case of without quantities contract. Bidders may be supplied with a schedule of works. In the schedule, we have to insert the works of the contract under the approved price headings. The bidders may need to price this schedule. That's all 10 main steps to prepare tender document. Thank you for watching.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Nurul Ainimiti Muhammad Safwan, 15 DOB 19F 1035. Now, I will elaborate the functions of the table tender document to contractor in construction industry. Functions of the tender table document are: number 1, it is used for reference to obtain information and checking document before enter the tender and submit the document within the specific time mentioned. So, the details of the reference are: next, these documents also serve as the basis for the contractor to review the offer. Why the contractor needs to review the offer is because to get the fair review all costs by all the contractors that bid in the tender. It means every contractor must fill up the costing which can compare the intended work by the contractors. The contractors must make sure that their costing are reasonable and close to the owner projected cost. In addition to this, these documents also serve as comparable to the contractors, such as for the time taken to complete the work, material use, labor costs, preliminaries, and finally the total cost. 3. This tender table document is very limited offer to certain contractors based on the CIDB requirements and the estimate project cost. The classification based on the contractor's capital paid up capital and the MOF related field. Thank you. Now we move to the next topic.
Assalamualaikum and a very good morning to Cik Noor and my fellow classmates. My name is Nundana Badrisha binti Mazlan and my matrix number is 15UB90F1030. So first of all, I would like to apologize because I was currently having a sore throat. So I hope you guys can hear my voice clearly. So here it goes. So this morning I would like to present about form of tender, letter of acceptance, specification, preliminaries, preambles, sum, and summary of tender. So here it goes. Okay, the first one is form of tender. It is a requirement that the tenderer must fill out, such as name and the address of the tenderer, the total tender price that is written with words and numbers, project completion period, signature and stamp of the tenderer, and signature of witness with name. If one of the mentioned are not completed, the tenderer may be rejected by the client. Okay, so the next one is letter of acceptance. It is a notice to tenderer regarding the receipt of work from the client's client's names, contractor's name, project title, contract price, completion of work, and condition of contract. Client or superintendent officer will be using this form to make an agreement acceptance with the contractor, and the contractor must keep this form as a future reference. So the next one is specification. Okay, it explains things that involve in contract, including the work included in the tender, minimum quality construction materials required during the construction work, explaining how the work should be done, and minimum quality of job. Specification or spec, usually prepared by track, and must include all items required in the implementation of a project. Okay, then preliminaries or prelim contains the definition of the scope of the works and explains things that are not measured in the list of ingredients or indicated in the tender, but it is needed to be implement and facilitate the operation of the project. Okay, the next one is preambles. Preambles contains the description of the type and quality of materials and works that are not stated in drawings or any other documents. They are made based on track or craftsmanship, which refers to standard method of measurement (SMM). The next one is price cost sum or PCS. It is an allowance usually calculated by the consultant for the supply of works and materials to be provided by a contractor or a supplier. The payments are made based on the quotation or invoices of the supplied items by the contractors plus addition of reasonable of agreed percentage for overhead costs and profit. So the last one is summary of tender. It collects the amount of all bills of the project. So that's all. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Let me introduce myself first. My name is Nursyada Atika binti Saka, and my matric number is 15DUB119F1032. Actually, I would like to explain about the step to fill in form of tender. In form, we must have a name, date, address of the tender. Secondly, we should have
tender reference number and title of the tender. Next, in form of tender, we must have total of price tender. So the price for the price for doing works and adjustment price that has been changed, the scope of the works or period of time change. Next, the form must have acceptance of term and condition. The form of tender should have confirmation of the country law. Next step, the form must be referenced to other document for complete the tender. Moreover, the form must have signature and stamp of the tender. The last step is in the form must have a signature of witness with name. In conclusion, tender must have all steps. If one of the above are not complete, the tender may be rejected. So that's it. Thank you everyone.